Would it be possible to hypnotize someone into doing something they normally wouldn't do, like murder someone? Would it be possible to take an unwilling subject and with an hour, 2 hours, a day, 2 days, etc., hypnotize them and control them into doing something that you want them to do? Would it be possible to program someone with hypnosis and sleep-inducing techniques to travel long distances, like going to a different country and retrieving documents and certain material and bringing them back? Would it be possible to use mind-control techniques to alter someone's basic personality? What would be the best way to conceal mind-controlling substances such as sodium pentothal in normal or commonplace items, such as candy, coffee, cigarettes, medicine, beer? So after programming someone with hypnosis or sleep-inducing techniques, would it then be possible to completely wipe out their memory or cause them to have amnesia so they don't remember that they were programmed to do these things at all? Do these questions seem pretty wild? Well, they come from a memo from the CIA in 1951. And the CIA would continue to research mind control for the next 25 years to answer these questions. This project's called MKUltra. This information is not science fiction and it's not conspiracy theory. It comes from CIA documents that were obtained through the Freedom of Information Act. So one of the things that the CIA was trying to do was to take normal people and program them into being assassins without them even knowing. Let me read this to you. A post-hypnotic of the night before, pointed finger you will sleep, was enacted. Mrs. A and Mrs. B immediately progressed to a deep hypnotic state with no further suggestion. This was to test whether the mere carrying out of the post-hypnotic would produce the state of hypnosis desired. Needless to say, it did. Mrs. A was then instructed, having previously expressed a fear of firearms in any fashion, that she would use every method at her disposal to awake Mrs. B in a deep hypnotic sleep. And failing in this, she would pick up a pistol nearby and fire it at Mrs. B. She was instructed that her rage would be so great that she would not hesitate to kill for failing to awaken. Mrs. A carried out these suggestions to the letter, including firing the unloaded pistol at Mrs. B, and then proceeding to fall into a deep sleep. After proper suggestions were made, both were awakened and expressed complete amnesia for the entire sequence. Mrs. A was again handed the gun, which she refused in awakened state to pick up or accept from the operator. She expressed absolute denial that the foregoing sequence had happened. So this woman was hypnotized and told to shoot her friend. And she did. She took an unloaded pistol, tried to shoot her friend, and when she was awakened, she had no idea she had tried to shoot her friend, and she had actually no idea that she was hypnotized at all. Maybe you've heard that when someone's hypnotized, they don't do things that they normally wouldn't do. Well, I'm going to read you this. It's Psychopolitics, and what it is it's a basic summary of Russian brainwashing techniques. It is in the interest of psychopolitics that a population be told that a hypnotized person will not do anything against his actual will not commit immoral acts, and will not act as to endanger himself. While this may be true of light parlor hypnotism, it is certainly not true of commands implanted with the use of electric shock, drugs, or heavy punishment. It is counted upon completely that this will be discredited to the general public by psychopolitical operatives. For if it were to be generally known that individuals would obey commands harmful to themselves and would commit immoral acts while under the influence of deep hypnotic commands, the actions of many people working unknowingly in the favor of communism would be too well understood. People acting under deep hypnotic commands should be acting apparently of their own volition and out of their own convictions. So how do you install these post-hypnotic suggestions? I'm going to read you this. It also comes from Psychopolitics. Drugging the individual produces an artificial exhaustion. If he is drugged or shocked and beaten and given a string of commands, his loyalties themselves can be definitely rearranged. This is PDH, or pain drug hypnosis. The psychopolitical operative in training should be thoroughly studied in the subject of hypnotism and post-hypnotic suggestion. He should pay particular attention to the forgetter mechanism aspect of hypnotism, which is to say, implantation in the unconscious mind. He should note particularly that a person given a command in a hypnotic state and then told when still in that condition to forget it will execute it on a stimulus response signal in the environment after he is awakened from his hypnotic trance. So this procedure done in the United States and in China and in Russia used 5 factors. 1, drugs. 2, hypnosis. 3, pain or electric shock. 4, implant commands or post-hypnotic suggestion. Or 5, amnesia, which would totally make someone forget that they were programmed at all. I've mentioned electric shock. And yes, I am talking about the same electric shock they use in psychiatry. In fact, they still use today. I'd like to read you this other article, and it's from MK Ultra as well. In addition, Blank expressed the view that through continuous electroshock applications, the memory of an individual could be destroyed and conceivably the subject could be reduced to a vegetable state. The writer is not prepared to discuss total destruction of memory by electroshock, but is quite aware that electroshock treatments produce amnesia and gross memory defects in patients. There is much literature to support this. Furthermore, it is known that patients, after receiving electroshock treatment, as a rule, generally have no memory of the immediate time periods surrounding electroshock treatments. And in general, memory is faulty for several weeks following the electroshock course. However, gradually, memory returns and approaches the conditions prior to electroshock, although there are some amnesia and gross impairments of memory functions that appear to be permanent. The standard electroshock device is a small instrument, portable or nearly so, and quite easily applied to a given individual. It could undoubtedly be used by many doctors since electroshock treatment in certain types of insanity are widely used. Furthermore, purchase of this type of equipment would not create any unusual notice since in all major cities of the United States there are many electroshock machines being consistently used. So that's a little overview of how the CIA created an unknowing assassin by using mind control. So if you're interested in knowing more about mind control and the process of it, I'm going to give you a link to a video called Ian Cameron, the Mind Thief. Ian Cameron was a psychiatrist who worked with the CIA on MK Ultra project, so you can check it out. So I'm going to do more videos on MK Ultra and mind control and brainwashing, so you may want to subscribe if you're interested. So what's different about what I'm going to be presenting is that I'm bringing you actual documented facts and not a theory of what might happen. So it's going to be more conspiracy than theory. What I have for you is actually what we know has happened and not some weird idea that it could have happened or it might be happening. So you'll be really interested in finding out. In future videos, I'll be talking about communist psychological warfare and how it was used to undermine American society. I'll also be talking about how the CIA would slip LSD to unknowing citizens and use them for mind control experiments.
For more great videos like this one, check out the Psyche Truth channel on YouTube.